So we're looking more at how to figure out the base and what is changing here. So our y-intercept is 2, and we look right here, we're trying to figure out how much this is going up by, okay? And it is increasing by 3 each time. So 3 is my b, and the y-intercept, or where I start, is my a. So my base is 3. So if we look down here, the form of the exponential functions is, and we'll type this in, y equals a times b to the x. And the b is the base, and the a is where we start. And we find the x by looking where x is 0. So, oops, not sure how that changed when x is 0. So we'll just do a couple more of these from equations. So we're looking at 1. I know, first of all, I'm starting at 8. So I know it's y equals 8. And then in parentheses, I want to know how much it's going up by. So I go from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32. Well, that doubles. So it's to the 2. And then I'm going to raise it to the x. So that is my equation. So we're going to do another one. It starts right here at 27. And so it is y equals 27 times, now how much does it go up by each time? Well, if you look, it's going up by 3. So it's 3 to the x. I like to figure out how much it goes up by looking at something I know. So for here, 8 times what gives me 16? Well, is that the same thing that it gives me? So that's 2. 16 times what gives me 32? It's 2. Here, we're at 3. 3 times what gives me 9? 3. 9 times what gives me 27? 3. 27 times what gives me 81, and so on. So let's just look at a couple more. I think it's always a good idea to practice. So remember, it's y equals a, b to the x. A is where it's at 0. So y equals 4. Then my b, how much is it going up? 4 times what gives me 8? 8 times what gives me 16? Oh, 2. And it's always to the x. We know it's an exponential equation if the variable is the exponent. I'm going to do the same thing for number 4. Y equals, what's a? It's where it's at 0. So that's 125. Now this one, I'm going to look very early on. 5 times what gives me 25? If you said 5, you are correct. Okay? And 25 times 5 is 125. So we can just keep going here. Let's look at some where we start with fractions. That's okay too. We can have y equals 1/2 times. Now it's, if you look at it, what's happening each time? It's doubling, it's going by 2. So that 1/2 doesn't really change it at all, except it makes it where it starts. And again, we raise that to the x. Okay, here's another one with fractions. That's okay. We say 1 equals 1 divided by 9. Remember, I know where to start because it's where x is 0. And what is happening each time? It's going up by, if you said 3, you are correct. I know it's harder to tell with those fractions, but that is what it's doing. Okay, so that's just what is happening here. Here we have a table and we need to put the numbers in. So let's go. We've got -1, -1 to the 2, 2 to the -1 power. It becomes 1/2. 2 times 1/2 is 1. All right, anything to the 0 power is 1, so 1 times 2 is 2. 2 to the first power is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 to the second power, 2 squared, is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And then 2 to the third power is 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, times that 2 in front, which is 16. Okay? Then my domain are all those x values. It's -1, it's it's 0, it's 1, it's 2, it's 3. And my range is all those y values. It's 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. Okay? If we were to graph these, now this is a little bit harder to graph on Cami, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Okay. At -1, we're at 1, so we're right here. At 0, we're at 2, so we're right here. At 1, we're at 4. At 2, we're at 8. All the way up to 8. At 3, we're at 16. So it's going to look like this. I like to think of it as like a Nike switch. So let's do one more. Let's plug them into here. All right, 3 to the -1 is 1/3. 1/3 times 1/3 ends up with 1/9. Okay. 3 to the 0 power, remember that's 1. So we get 1/3. 1 times 1/3 is 1/3. 1 is 3. 3 times 1/3 is just 1. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 1/3, or 9 divided by 3, gives us 3. 3 to the third, that's 3 times 3, which is 9, times 3, which is 27. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Okay, so my domain is -1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. And my range is those y values. So my range is 1/9, 1/3, 1, 3, and 9. And those are all supposed to be commas there. Okay, so I'm going to try to plot these points again. All right, let's see if I can do this. I'm going to do my best here. At -1, it's 1/9, so it's so tiny. At 0, it's 1/3, so just a little bit higher. 1 is 1, 2 is 3, and 3 is 9. So again, it's like that Nike swish going up. Okay, and we're just going to simplify these fractions. So remember, 4 over x to the -5th is just going to be 4 divided by x to the 5th. Remember the exponential, when we do this, we can just switch them. So we've got y, remember negatives go on the bottom or go on the top. They switch. And x to the 3rd. So we get y squared over x to the 3rd. Okay, here we've got some switching to do. Y to the 4th, it stays on the top. And we also have y squared on the top. On the bottom, we've got 2x squared stays down there. Nope. 2x squared. And 2x to the 3rd goes down to the bottom because we can't have -3. Now we have to do another line of simplifying. So I'm going to move this up. Y to the 4th and times y squared is going to give us y to the y, nope, y, oh, it just doesn't like me. We're going to do another, there we go. We'll do another one. We're going to go y to the 6th. And we're going to divide all of that by 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Times that 2 in the very front is 16. X, the second and the first, and the third we have to add together, and we get x to the 5th. Okay. 3 squared is 9, and then we have to put the other 3 squared up there. So 9 times 9 is 81. And then y to the 7th goes to the top. And we're all set. So that's just an example of simplifying.